In a world of gleaming corporate towers, titles are everything. Senior analysts get glass offices. Department heads speak louder than they need to. And then there's Daniel Reyes at Meridian Tower. His badge read Facilities Assistant. To most, that meant he was just the guy you called to fix a flickering light or move a desk. He was, for all intents and purposes, invisible. Every morning, Daniel arrived before anyone else. He walked the silent halls, checked the doors, and watched the building come to life. He knew things no one else did: which elevator hesitated between floors, which camera went blind in the afternoon sun, which access card reader glitched when the servers were busy. He noticed everything, but no one ever asked him what he saw. In high-level security meetings, executives treated safety like a checklist. They trusted glossy reports from expensive consultants, full of jargon and arrows. Once, Daniel tried to point out a blind spot near the loading dock. A manager just chuckled and said, "Let's leave the technical stuff to the professionals." So, Daniel went back to his work, quietly observing. But here's the secret. Daniel wasn't always a facilities assistant. He used to design layered security systems for government contractors. He was a master of system architecture, understanding how physical access, digital surveillance, and human behavior all connect. A family crisis and a mountain of medical bills had forced him to take the first stable job he could find, no matter the title. He couldn't just switch off his brain, so he watched. And he planned. At night, after his shift, he filled a worn notebook with diagrams. He mapped every single weakness in the building's security. He saw how a single stolen badge could grant access to 3 entire floors. He knew the security desk relied too heavily on one monitor wall, and that outdated firmware delayed critical alarms. He wasn't asked to fix these problems, but he couldn't stop thinking about them. Then, on a seemingly ordinary Thursday, it happened. A false fire alarm on the upper floors sent employees flooding into the stairwells. In the chaos, a group of intruders slipped in through the service entrance, the very same one Daniel had warned about months earlier. The security desk was completely overwhelmed. Alarms blared, cameras lagged, and panic started to spread. But then something strange occurred. The service entrance locked itself. The elevators froze in safe mode. Internal doors sealed off floor by floor, segmenting the building. Emergency lights guided people away from the danger zones with an eerie, intelligent precision. The building wasn't collapsing into chaos. It was responding, it was fighting back. That's because Daniel had secretly taught it how. Months before, during his breaks, he'd quietly written a patch for the outdated firmware. He created an automated alert system that pushed critical camera feeds to multiple screens, including mobile devices. And when his proposal for layered access control was ignored, he built a simulation in the background, proving it could work without anyone even noticing. Now, as the intruders found themselves trapped between sealed zones, security forces closed in and neutralized the threat within minutes. No one was hurt. Nothing was stolen. Afterward, the executives scrambled for answers. They replayed the footage, praising the system's robust design. A consultant started to take credit, but the chief information officer cut him off. "That feature wasn't in the approved plan," he said. Silence. Someone pulled the system logs. One name kept appearing in the change history. D. Reyes. They called Daniel into the boardroom. He stood at the end of the long table in his plain uniform, the same one they'd ignored for years. The questions came flying. Who authorized this? Why didn't anyone know? Daniel calmly pulled out his notebook and explained everything. He showed them how each layer worked, how it anticipated both technical failures and human error. He didn't brag. He just explained. In that room, titles melted away. The CEO leaned back and said quietly, "You designed the entire security system." Daniel just nodded. "I just wanted people to be safe." By the end of the day, Daniel's title had changed. So did his office, his salary, and the way people looked at him. Managers who once dismissed him now sought his advice. But the biggest change wasn't just for Daniel. It was in the company's culture. Meridian Tower learned a powerful lesson. Real expertise doesn't always have a fancy title or a loud voice. Sometimes it's carried quietly by the person who fixes the lights, watches the doors, and thinks 3 steps ahead while everyone else is busy talking. And Daniel? He still arrives early. He still walks the halls. Because for him, security was never about recognition. It was about responsibility, especially when no one is watching. Thanks for watching. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.